Human Vengeance. Chapter 1. Surprise Guests, OC. This is a rewrite of my story from r/writing prompts. It will be greater detail and so multiple parts that I hope you enjoy. It was our transmissions that allowed us to be found. A patrol ship came across them when listening to the background noise of the galaxy. Recognizing the source as that of undiscovered sapient life, they notified the ruling race, the Zevarg. Such a discovery would be met with joy, another race to join the 9 others. They first sent an unmanned probe to scan our planet. They had their own systems in place, a set of galactic laws and regulations. By understanding our planet, they could evaluate its life. They could understand which regulations would be required for resource management. With advanced stealth technology, it hung unnoticed in orbit. It measured the physical aspects, land mass, and water content. It counted the population, centuries, making estimates to our numbers. They cared not for the social aspects. They reasoned that it would be different to how we acted on the galactic stage. If they had, maybe things would have turned out differently. The only part of our culture it sampled was that of the noise we made, to confirm we weren't an anomaly, but a true sapient race. It found us more than fitting the bill. With that satisfied, the probe left, to report back to the Zevarg. They read our data. They sent a standard first contact fleet, 20 ships to combat any unforeseen circumstances, 20 ships to ensure our compliance. 26-kilometer-long ships descended into the atmosphere. They were made of black metal, oblong-shaped. Their surface was smooth, save for the bottom. The bottom held a series of long mountings, resembling enormous cannons. On near-silent engines, they spread over the globe. Each ship flew to a predetermined point, hovering over highly populated cities. As they reached their destination, they hung silently in place, like a hammer poised to strike. Their presence was met with a mixture of emotions. Joy rang strong, as this was proof we were not alone in the universe. But it was accompanied by fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of our own creation, as tales like Independence Day and War of the Worlds hung in the forefront of our minds. Politicians raced to make contact. They created messages, those of peace and friendship. Each wanted to make their own the first contacted. Each wanted to go down in history as the one to first greet our extraterrestrial neighbors. Others stoked the flames of xenophobia. They saw them as competition, as those to be beaten. But throughout it all, the ships hung silent. Messages were received, but not responded to. But they were not idle. Intelligence reports were created and passed on to those who would listen. They all found the same thing. These surprise guests, these aliens were accessing vast amounts of data. Any security protocols were blazed through, any secrets accessed without effort. But as for what they wanted, that was a mystery. Human Vengeance. Chapter 2. The Cull. For 3 days, the alien ships hung in orbit. For those 3 days, intelligence agencies battled with their digital connections. But the war was over before they had realized it had begun. They were hopelessly outmatched. In the hours it took for them to lock down one access, dozens more took their place. It was broken down and analyzed by their computers. Algorithms pulled word structure apart, creating a comprehensive translation between the human languages and their own. Census data was taken to produce an accurate population count. Once the 3rd day was completed, they finally spoke to the world. A simple video was released. It was dumped onto the internet before being automatically loaded onto any available device. It showed a black screen at first with white text appearing. As it appeared, a synthetic voice spoke them aloud. Humanity, you are guilty of breaching the galactic population limit for a planet. You are allowed no more than 5 billion individuals on this scale of planet. We will return you to compliance. The joy that arose from this sudden contact was smothered. Their words were cruel, though the voice lacked emotion. Its indifference caused fear to ramp up. To the aliens, this was a paper exercise. But for us, it would be a slaughter. As soon as the message ended, the 20 ships began their attack. The cannons below swiveled, glowing brightly. A series of metal rods were launched at enormous speeds, far beyond the speed of sound. They slammed into the cities they flew over, crushing buildings to dust. The impact shook the area around, a localized earthquake of horrific proportions. Again and again they fired, leaving their targets in ruins. In less time than it took to boil a kettle, hundreds of millions had been killed. The military acted immediately. Aircraft were launched in the hopes of stopping them. Ships launched cruise missiles to pummel them. But despite all we fired, none found their mark. Their sleek metal surface slid back as a multitude of laser turrets extended. With pinpoint precision, they intercepted our attacks. We were outmatched, outgunned, and defenseless. A few politicians hoped to stop it with diplomacy. They sent messages pleading for mercy, for peace. They said we could sort out ourselves, but those words fell on deaf ears. They moved ponderously, an unrelenting force. Cities in their path tried to empty, people running for their lives. Screams arose as cruel weapons aimed at them, but they were soon cut off as death reaped those in their way. After a day of devastation, they stopped as suddenly as they began. A new message was sent out, again played automatically. It was that same black screen, with the same white test. That same voice spoke again, as indifferent as it had spoken before. Those who hear this, congratulations on surviving. We wish you the best, and look forward to seeing you join our number. It was met with a stunned silence. They had murdered nearly 3 billion of us. Now they wished us well. They wanted us to join them in the stars. With the same speed they arrived, 19 ships left, leaving us to mourn and rebuild. The final ship, having carved a trail of blood across the United States, maneuvered into orbit. It jettisoned a single cargo crate before leaving itself.